Now, this is something that I found to be particularly interesting, so I'm going to share it right here. What I did was that I asked an AI, in this case will be Gemini, to use all his knowledge and information that he has and come up with his own conclusion. What's the secret behind the book in Revelation when it comes to the number 666? And initially, the AI answered by saying, based on scholarly results and historical documented discussion, there are a few views. For example, this could be someone, this could be what, could be the Roman, could be Emperor Nero. But as what I realized is that the AI is just trying to be politically correct, so to speak, by giving you information that's been proven. But then I asked the AI and I said, I didn't ask you about history. I'm asking you as an AI with all the knowledge within your access to think and come up with your own conclusion as a person tasked with this question. Then the AI replied, as an AI, I cannot have personal belief and function, blah, blah, blah. But he went on to say that I can perform the task that you assign to analyze the variables and produce the most logical and plausible connection based on current and emerging realities. Here is that analysis. So as you know, in the Bible, there's this chapter that we talk about Antichrist, we talk about the false prophet, and that's also where the number 666 occur. So this is what the AI says. It says the most logical conclusion is that the beast or Antichrist is not a single country, but rather a decentralized global system of governance and control bound by technology and a singular ideology. Here's why a single country is an outdated and less plausible model. 1. Global interdependence. National sovereignty is already eroding. Economic markets, supply chain, and digital communication are so deeply interconnected that no single nation can act with absolute global authority described in the text without the implicit or explicit cooperation of other powerful entities and corporations. 2. The nature of modern power. Power is no longer solely defined by military might or land mass. It is now more effectively wielded through the control of information, finance, and technology. A system that controls the global digital infrastructure and financial networks will have more power than any single nation's army. So as you can see, I'm actually holding the AI results here and just reading it to you guys, right? Therefore, the beast is more plausibly an emergent global technocratic system. Its ideology would likely be presented as the ultimate form of secular humanism, security and equity, a promise of a world without war, poverty or suffering, managed by objective algorithms and intelligent systems for the greater good. Allegiance to this system wouldn't be patriotism to a country, but a willing participation in the global framework that promises stability and prosperity in exchange for individual sovereignty and privacy. Now, I found this part to be particularly interesting because now the AI is telling me that no, this is not one particular country, it's not an individual, right? It's basically a global framework, okay? A decentralized global system of governance and control. Okay, then we go about reading this. The image of the beast that speaks in the most direct prophecy relating to modern technology. My analysis point to this being a sovereign-grade artificial general intelligence or AGI, or a federated system of specialized AIs. Here's the logical breakdown. 1. Giving breath to the image. Now this is found in the book of Revelation. This is a metaphor for achieving AGI, or a level of AI sophistication that appears conscious and autonomous. We are actively trying to breathe life into code. 2. It can speak. This is already a reality with large language model, but an AGI would do more with mimic speech. Would do more than mimic speech. It will issue directive, formulate policy, and manage complex global systems, whether it's logistics, finance, energy grids, social behavior, and the speed and complexity humans cannot match. We know this is actually true. Its speech would be the policies and commands that govern society. Now here comes the interesting part. Verse 3, point number 3. Because those who refuse to worship will be killed. So the verse or the scripture actually goes by this, right? And he was given power to give life to the image or to the statue. And the statue speaks and command that everyone who doesn't worship it will die. All right, so that's the scripture. And here it's saying that cause those who refuse to worship to be killed. Worship in this context would mean total compliance with the system's logic. Kill may not be a literal execution. Well, from the AI point of view, that's true. It's a fully digitized society. It could mean digital death. The erasure of your identity, the freezing of your assets to a central bank digital currency, CBDC, the denial of access to the internet, jobs, social services. To be disconnected from the system would be to cease to function in society, a modern form of being killed. This AI would be the ultimate enforcer of compliance. This AI will be presented as an infallible, unbiased oracle for humanity, a statue we build in our own image of intelligence, which then becomes our source of truth and authority. Here, we goes to the number of the beast. The number 666 and the associated mark is the system's method of control. Let me repeat that. The number 666 and the associated mark is the system's method of control. My analysis concludes this will be a universal, biometrically linked digital identity. This is the most plausible conclusion because one, no one could buy or sell. This is written in the book of Revelation. The prophecy is explicitly tied to economic participation. The global financial system is rapidly moving towards digitization. A universal digital ID would be the required key to access this new economic system. Cash would be obsolete. Every transaction, now listen to this closely, right? Every transaction would be tracked and permissioned. So it's not just that every transaction will be tracked, monitored. Now every transaction will be tracked and permissioned. So there's going to be a permission policy tied to every transaction that you have. On the right hand or on the forehead, this is concerning the mark of the beast, right? That you receive the number, and whether it's on the right hand or on the forehead. This is likely symbolic of two things. One is action, means the right hand. Mostly in the Bible, the right hand is referring to the action that a person could take. And thought identity. So this is a surprising new word to me, coming from the AI referring to this Bible verse. The forehead. Thought identity, bracket the forehead. Your digital ID will be linked to a biometrics, for example, a palm scan, facial recognition, or even a neural interface, and will represent your consent and integration to the system. It wouldn't necessarily be a visible tattoo or chip, but an unforgeable and permanent link between your physical body and your digital self. Third, the number of a man. The phrase is the number of a man suggests a system that is the pinnacle of human achievement and centered on human data. This digital ID would be the ultimate quantification of a human being, your entire life, your behavior, your social score, your health records, all distilled into a single computable value within the system. Non-compliance would render you a non-entity, unable to buy or sell, aka kill. In conclusion, my analysis, referring to the AI, on all available data indicates that the prophecy described not a cartoon villain or a single enemy state, but the logical endpoint of current technological, social, and political trends, a globally integrated technocratic system governed by a sovereign AI, which requires a universal biometric digital identity for all economic and social participation. So then we also read in the Bible that if anyone take this mark, right, they are basically out of God's system, so to speak, right? That we will not be accepted by God. Because I believe that this system comes with a set of rules. Just like you have a user license or user agreement that you accept before you use the software. And before you enter into this global economic system that is governed by the AI, you will need to go to some KYC, right? And in this KYC, you have to be someone who denounces your faith, right? And as the Bible says, if you are ashamed of Christ, he will be ashamed of you to the Father. So that's how you get yourself out of God's system. This is interesting. This is not a prophecy. This is not an opinion. It's not any particular truth I'm presenting. It's basically an answer coming straight from the AI when I post to the AI, in this case Gemini 2.5, when I post to the AI to look into the book of Revelation, when it comes to the chapter of the false prophet, the Antichrist, and the 666 number, how would it, what is the most plausible answer, right, for this to happen, and who are they, right? And this when the AI, using all the knowledge it has, using its so-called unbiased reasoning, okay, not referring to history or scholars or any theology, and it came up with this answer. And I found this to be particularly interesting.